if we're talking about the colonial era and how, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 and all of those things, my question would be, who can be illegal on stolen land?
Oh, okay. So you're saying that no one is here legally?
Well, no, I'm not saying that no one's here legally. I'm saying, how can people be illegal on land that didn't belong to them in the first place?
That's a crazy concept, bro.
I don't bite. If you don't mind moving a little, you can face forward, but I got to hold the mic up because we've had people try and run off with the mic too, so I got to hold it.
Okay.
What's your name, by the way?
My name is Savannah.
Savannah, nice to meet you, Savannah. Let me ask you, how familiar are you, if at all, with kind of this installment, this series?
Not at all, actually.
Okay.
I didn't know that you would be here today until I saw the signs around campus, and then,
Okay.
I think one of my friends Googled you and found out that you were 38, but that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I got it right, because I also say I own a waterfront ocean Dallas waterfront property, which doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it's not possible. So let me explain to you kind of, just so we're not talking past each other, let me first tell you kind of what it's not. It's not gotcha, scoring points, dunking, clips, which I know we see a lot online. This was actually created about a decade ago to be sort of the anti-cable news, where people can actually have conversations that you don't see in media, where hopefully they're done in good faith, and it's of course used in its entire context. We never edit it out of context. So, and obviously, however you want to have the conversation, that's up to you, but I just want you to know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
I'm here for a constructive conversation.
So this should be self-explanatory, but the debate is all illegals should be deported. That's what he's debating. Steven Crowder is a conservative. He believes all illegals should be deported. The young lady sitting down is more than likely leftist or left-leaning, and she does not believe that. I'm going to give my opinion a little later because I like to hear the conversation first, but please make sure you like and subscribe. Let's not waste any more time.
Okay.
I don't think that I can change your mind, and I don't think that you can change my mind, although I'd like to see you try it.
That's fair. Well, you're sitting down to change my mind, so, but we'll see. Sometimes people are surprised. So today's conversation, wholesale, I support deporting all illegal aliens in this country, certainly in 2025. I think it's imperative for a multitude of reasons, and if you disagree, you're more than welcome to change my mind, Savannah.
Okay, well, how do you feel about the ways that current deportations are being handled across the country?
Support it.
You support, the racial profiling and possibly the arrest of U.S. citizens?
So I don't know of a single U.S. citizen who's been deported.
No, I didn't say deported. I said being detained because
Sure.
their citizenship is being questioned.
Well, let me ask you this. If someone matches the profile, for example, of a hit and run, and you're detained and questioned, and they find out it's not you, is that a violation of your rights?
No, but the deportations that are happening across the country are going a little more deeper than that. And unfortunately, that seemed to be a very surface level example.
Sure, I understand why you would say that. And if that was the only way we're deporting people, sure, I don't have a problem with it. But it's not. So let me ask you, are you against all of the methods of deporting people right now? How do you think we should do it?
Well, that's actually the question I had for you, considering that you're hosting this event. How do you think that deportations across the country should be handled? Because when I think of deportations, I'm thinking of the mass roundups that have been happening, and then the detainment, I forget what it's called, alligator Alcatraz or something, that was in Florida.
Yeah, alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah, so that's what I think. So I was just wondering how you think that the deportation should be handled.
Yeah, alligator Alcatraz was for some of the worst offenders, violent offenders. Let me ask you this, before we get to that, do you believe that we should deport illegal aliens?
I think it's a very situational occurrence.
Okay.
I find myself disagreeing with the mass deportations that are happening, which is why I wanted to come here today and ask you what your definition of illegal is and who fits that criteria.
Someone who's come to this country illegally. Anyone.
So anyone who doesn't have paperwork.
Yeah, anyone who's in this country illegally, who committed the crime, the misdemeanor of coming to this country illegally, or visa overstays, which make up a percentage that, yeah, I think it's pretty clear. I don't think that that's one of those scenarios where it's gray. You're either a legal citizen or you're not. So I support deporting all illegal aliens at this point. Which ones would you support deporting? I guess would be my question to you. And then how should we do that?
Well, the question really comes back to how we go about deporting necessarily. So
Okay.
So here's what I'll say. she's opening this debate, and I don't have a problem with it necessarily, but she's opening this debate saying, or basically implying, that she has a problem with the way deportations are being carried out, which is a fair problem to have. However, it's a little off topic on what Steven Crowder is doing so far. His statement is that illegal, I don't even know what to say, people who are illegally in the United States should be deported 100%. But you are combating that statement by saying, yeah, but look at how they're getting deported. Yeah, you could have a problem with how they're getting deported, but that doesn't negate his initial statement that they should still be deported. Nonetheless, let's see what she has to say.
I think, because I mean, ultimately, there has to be a solution. There's a solution for everything, especially in politics and things like that.
Sometimes.
I would like to say so. I would like to say that there would ultimately be a solution here.
Yeah.
So.
But do you mean a solution that you're okay with, or do you mean it? Because sometimes the solution is not a pretty one.
Well, I was raised by Southern people.
Okay.
So we think that, what's it called? You know that you've come to a good conclusion when both parties feel like they're being screwed over.
Yeah, compromise is when no one's happy,
Yes.
something like that. That's how we say it in the Northeast, but same thing, yeah.
Yes.
You're much more polite in the South. I was raised by French Canadians, horrible, horrible people, but same sentiment.
So it's interesting that you say that you were raised by French Canadians, and I mean, does that also... It's interesting to think that you're raised by French Canadians,
Yeah.
yet you still support deporting all illegal.
Why is that interesting?
Because you would think that if you're being raised by someone who isn't from this country, maybe you would have a more open mindset.
Oh, I think I have a very open mindset. I was born in Detroit, and my dad's American. My mom is French Canadian. She now lives in the States. She's very proud, has gone through the process, loves America, speaks the language, pays taxes, contributes. My woman is Latina.
Your woman?
My woman, my lady, my missus.
She belongs to you.
Yeah, she likes, I don't know if you know these Latina women, they love a little bit of possessiveness, but I say it as a term of endearment. She went through the naturalization process. I fell in love with her when I saw a picture of her with her she was actually going through the process. There's a picture in front of the Statue of Liberty and a MAGA flag that she had. And both of them actually are far more aggressive than I am in deporting illegal aliens because they appreciate the citizenship. They appreciate being a part of this great country. So I don't really think that that's inconsistent. As a matter of fact, I think it's the rule, not the exception. But going back to the question, who would you deport then? Who would you deem acceptable? What's your term as far as, I guess if you disagree with the legal definition of an illegal alien? And then how would we do it?
Unfortunately, you've just asked me like 3 questions.
Okay.
Which one would you like to
Who
answer
should be
first?
deported, and how should we do it?
Let me think. I guess I've never considered who I would deport if I was king of the world. Which people would I get rid of first, I guess?
And here's the thing. That's a great question. Because it goes into what I've been saying. This is not a moral debate. This is not a moral. This is not me. Here's what you have to understand. People who illegally are in the United States are not just evil people. They're not bad people. A lot of them aren't. And if you're trying to frame this whole discussion from the fact that they're bad people, they should... No, that's not the case. And that's actually liberal propaganda that's being spread around. That they're trying to say they're evil. We're not evil. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's about the fact that you are illegally in a country. It's a law. It's a law thing. It's not a moral thing. And if you try to put it for a moral thing, people are going to argue moral things. No, this is not about morals. And that's where this discussion is being dragged to the point where she doesn't even know how to answer this question. The answer to this question is you deport people who are not here legally. That's the only answer. That's the only way you can do this, because you cannot do it from a moral thing, because morals are subjective. Morals are dependent on who's viewing the person. Ethics are subjective. But let's continue.
If we go way back in history, because obviously if we don't study history, then we're doomed to repeat it.
Sure.
If we're talking about the colonial era and how, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 and all of those things, my question would be, who can be illegal on stolen land?
Oh, okay. So you're saying that no one is here legally?
Well, no, I'm not saying that no one's here legally. I'm saying how can people be illegal on land that didn't belong to them in the first place?
So
You know, that's a crazy concept, bro. That's a crazy concept. Imagine somebody breaks into your house and you're like, oh my God, why are you here? Get out my house before I call the police. I'm scared. Ah! And they tell you, well, how can I break into a house that is not even yours? You're going to literally look at them like they're insane. Like, you will literally look at them like they're crazy, like they're a genuine lunatic. Because that's a crazy thing to say. But she is very serious saying this about the United States.
who does the land belong to? And I still do want to get to the point here where you said there's a solution to everything. To do that, you do have to live in the real world, obviously, and right now it's 2025, and you have a disagreement with deportation. You said, well, I don't think we can do it. I don't remember your words, wholesales. We need to determine who. So I think it's a fair question to say, who should be deported, and how would you do it? The solution isn't going to be this is all stolen land and give it back. I don't know if you've been to a Native American reservation lately. I don't think anyone would like that. And I don't think that's what they're asking for either. But who would you deport, and how would you do it? And then we can see where we differ.
Unfortunately, I don't think that anyone should be deported unless maybe someone's being extradited back to a country of origin.
Okay.
So saying if someone has committed a crime in maybe the UK or something, maybe they, the people who robbed, what's it called, the Louvre, and they stole all the crowns and tiaras.
Yeah, I
and
know. I
stuff.
still can't believe that happened. You're like, how do you not catch these people?
It was like an Ocean's 11.
It really was.
But I would say, unfortunately, I don't think that anyone deserves to be reported unless they're being extradited back to their country of origin because they are committing crimes in their country of origin, and they are escaping because they don't want to face imprisonment.
What if they're committing crimes here?
I think that the term that comes to mind is that America is a country, a third world country with a Gucci belt. So if we have enough funding to say maybe deport all of these illegal people, then why don't we have enough money to fix our justice system?
Yeah, and this is one of the things where people just move the goalposts or present a red herring. I do want to stay on topic. I think we need to fix the justice system as well. But going to this, you see there's a solution for everything. Illegal aliens not only commit crimes, and that's why I brought it up at a much higher rate than native-born citizens. They also cost the taxpayer $150 to $450 billion a year. It is a serious problem, and obviously you know about our debt and our deficit. So how do we deal with this problem? Or it sounds to me like you're saying you wouldn't even deport people who've come here illegally, that's a crime, and are committing extra crimes while here. You wouldn't deport those people?
No, I don't think I would actually. I think that the prison system here in America is well equipped to maybe handle the reformation of those citizens. But I think that when your only option is to escape a country, when you're seeking political asylum, it's not necessarily the easiest thing in the entire world to obtain citizenship before you go to the country that you want to be in.
Yeah, but why are they entitled to go to any country they want?
Why
should
is
American-
anyone entitled to live in it?
Well, all countries, I don't know if you're aware, like they all have borders and they all have laws,
Yes,
and becoming a
I'm
citizen
aware that
in Mexico
countries
is
have
far, actually we have one of the most lenient policies out there. In Mexico,
You know, I'm really trying to be understanding to this young woman. But I'm not going to lie, I'm getting a little angry listening to her logic. It's like the goalpost keeps moving. It just keeps moving. And she honestly called America a third world country with a Gucci belt. Very disrespectful to our land. We are the freest nation on earth to this day. And even if we're a third world country with a Gucci belt, why are you so adamant about specifically illegal or undocumented persons coming to the United States? It doesn't make sense. I'm really getting annoyed, but
you can't even own waterfront property.
Well, yeah, in Mexico that you can't own guns either, and that's where the cartel has a lot of control.
That's a good point.
What I'm saying
it's true.
is-
You disarm the citizens, you end up emboldening the worst of society. And a lot of those people, I'm sure you know this, are invigorated and emboldened by the human trafficking that goes on. Even people coming here seeking a better life, they have to go through coyotes, and a lot of them don't make it here. There are more slaves on Earth. If we go that route of open borders, there are more slaves on Earth now than ever in human history. Did you know that?
Well, yes, I did.
Yeah, and a big part of them are sex slaves. And they thrive under open borders policies. Sorry, the sun?
It's the sun reflecting off of that car. Sorry, it just like got me.
Which damn car, mine's cocky SOB over there. I don't know who's driving it, but
It's okay.
so yeah, it would be incumbent upon you, because it's not as though there's no net laws. if it's 150 to 450 billion dollars a year to the American taxpayer. Make the case to the struggling American right now who's paying taxes out the wazoo, that someone who comes here pays no taxes, shares nothing in common with the culture, language, commits crimes, according to your definition here, should still be allowed to stay and be supported by their tax dollars. Make that case, because that actually is, if we're going to come up with a solution, you need to make that case. Those are the people who are voting.
It's very interesting that you've mentioned multiple times about speaking the language. It's almost as if you demean people for not being fluent in English. I'm curious to see are you fluent in the language that your lady spoke?
So I speak French.
Yes.
She speaks Portuguese, Spanish, and English.
Yes.
But she hates it when people are here in this country and don't speak English. And my mom is French, and she hates it when people here don't speak English, because my mom came here from... Well, it's an irrelevant question. So let's have you answer one question. Just one.
I have said that.
So you wouldn't deport criminals. So let me ask you this. Why should the American taxpayer keep footing the bill for current criminals who are also illegal aliens? Those are the people who are affected.
Well, it's almost as if that you're insinuating that illegal citizens do not pay taxes at all, because you can receive employment here in the United States. There's a little checkbox that you have to put on job applications.
I didn't say that, but go ahead with this trail. I never said that none of them pay taxes.
Well, it's interesting the way that you phrase it, because it's almost insinuating that illegal citizens don't pay taxes.
I would say it's interesting the way you interpret it, because what I said is they cost the American taxpayer 150 to 450 billion. Now I could tell you, provide you the reference if you want to take these with you, so you don't have to take my word for it, that there's about that's including the 17% offset of taxes that are paid from illegal aliens. So even including that number, it's 150 to 450 billion dollars. Whether they all pay taxes, or very few of them pay taxes, is irrelevant. It's a net cost. There'd be no way of tracking it.
It's irrelevant.
I'm not going to say it's irrelevant, but I will say it would be very hard to track. It's a pretty good point. That's a pretty good point, because you need your Social Security, I think, to pay taxes. But I'm not a tax expert. I don't know too much about that topic to really give an opinion on it. What I will say is this, though. Whether or not they pay taxes is just kind of irrelevant, because people's biggest problem is how Donald Trump specifically, or how his administration is handling deporting undocumented citizens. But here's the thing. If you have a problem with it, your goal should be to change America's laws behind immigration. Because the way the law is written today, they should be deported. And this is not my opinion. This is not, you're saying it. No, this is just how the law is. And we're at a point in society where we're trying to make laws subjective. They're not that subjective. It says it in the law, bro. I'm not even trying to be that type of person. I didn't write the laws. That's just how it is. But nonetheless, please make sure you like and subscribe. If you have a problem with this, go lobby your Congress member so they can put some new, law or whatever in place to do their job. My name is Jojo, and I'll see you later.